Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and I am super excited to be with you today because this is something that I've been thinking about for, I don't know, many years, but for the last few weeks at least, when it comes to transformation. So it's almost like the secret as to why we fail, the secret as to why we don't succeed, the secret as to what's really getting in the way, because we have the outside world around us. And trust me, look, I know we have stresses. I know life is life, and sometimes people are mean, sometimes the events feel cruel, but it's not about what the world does to us, it's about how we respond to it. So our ability to be resourceful in our response to those situations will dictate by nature if we succeed or if we so-called fail. And I say so-called fail because I don't really believe in failure. I believe that it's a learning process. I believe it's an opportunity to grow. I believe there's a message, or there's a learning in the message. There's something there that we can learn from in all the events that we go through. So when we're talking about the external world, yeah, we've got to ask ourselves, what can we learn from this? But one of the biggest things that I have found when it comes to transformation comes down to two things. One of those things that you know that I always say, and that is assume responsibility for who you are, what you do, and where you're heading. I don't mind that we've been through all this stuff in the past. Things happen. I wish they did not, although there is an opportunity to learn from, but I also feel like, look, that some people go through some horrendous things. And responsibility for this present moment in what we do is so important. Otherwise, what we're really doing is pushing everything outside of ourselves. We're pushing all the things which could have been in our control, saying, I cannot change because of this person. I cannot change because of this situation. It gives us reasons, and it can even give us excuses to staying the same. So we must assume responsibility for it and bring it back in rather pushing it outside of ourselves. So yes, responsibility is a key factor to all success, and I'm gonna guess that every person who has succeeded has probably gone through many turbulent times. They've probably got that success because of it. Because maybe when it was peaceful and good, maybe we said this a while ago, but innovation does not happen in times of peace, as in a peaceful world or a peaceful life. It's usually when we are restricted that we have to be flexible, we have to be adaptable. So the assumption of responsibility is so important. But when it comes to responsible or being responsible for our goals, there's something that many people don't even talk about. And that is accountability. Okay, so that's the theme we're talking about today. Are you accountable for the success that you're having right now? Very much in the same way, are you responsible for having the success that you have right now? And that hurts, trust me. I know it. When I think of my life, after I think of the last 6 months of challenges I've gone through, I've got to take 100% accountability. Even if it's not true, if I go into the accountability side of things, it means I will start to get the results that I want. I want to be in control of everything happening in my world. Even if there's other parts to it, other things coming to play, I want to be responsible and accountable for how I show up. My ability to be flexible and adaptable. And the reason I was thinking about this is I'm starting to work out a lot more at the moment. So I'm working out 6 days a week, running 3 miles 5 times a week or 4 times a week, and also working out another 2 times with a personal trainer. Now, if I go to the gym by myself, I have zero accountability. Trust me, I've tried so many times. In fact, I went all the way to Thailand to be able to get trained once for 2 months so a trainer could just literally tell me what to do, and I lost like 10-15 pounds. If I just did that at a gym, for me personally, I just give up. Like, it's easier for me to stop. And that's just how I am, okay? I could change that for sure. Like, if I put the time and effort into it, I could probably change it. Because on the other hand, I have total accountability for my running. Like, I'm excited about that. I do it on my own accord. Like, the assumption responsibility for running is totally easy for me. I love it. I get excited by it. It gives me freedom. It gives me creativity. It gives me talks like this, ideas for the talks that I have. But there is a part of my life where I need accountability. And that is also why, like in business, I could go alone, try to figure it all out, and then maybe fail along the way. And yes, I might get that. But I also noticed the quickest path to success was a level of accountability. So I hired people to be able to support me, to nurture me. I almost see it like my goal is at the top of the mountain, okay? And when I look up at it, it can be a little bit daunting. I'm sure you've had that experience. Maybe you want that promotion, you want that X amount of money per month, you want that extra business, you want to go for that goal or dream, whether it be internal of letting go of a limiting belief or anxiety, worries, imposter syndrome, to be able to get to the top of the mountain and go, I am worthy, I am enough, and all those things. But when you look at it at the top of the mountain, it can feel very daunting. What if there was someone at the top of the mountain who's achieved it, who is confident, or who's managed to be able to break through that financial barrier, or knows how to increase your business, or knows how to supercharge your career to get that promotion? Wouldn't it be nice for that person to come down the mountain all the way down, take you by the hand and lead you there? Even when you feel like giving up, there's that person holding you by the hand and going, do you know what? We're gonna do it. We're in it together. We're pushing forward. This is normal. This is natural. Let's take on these challenges. Let's make that extra step forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on growing. If you have someone like that in your corner when it comes to accountability, it just levels up your game. It really just causes you to transform that much more. So when I've been analyzing my success, whether it be in the last 4 to 8 weeks, whether it be from the last 20 years of doing what I do. So I like to think I'm pretty successful in business. I work with a lot of business people, so I've learned a lot, I've invested a lot, and I realized in all the times I was the most successful, it wasn't just me. I had a level of accountability. Now, accountability comes in many different forms. It could be your buddy, right? Like go do a challenge with your buddy to lose weight or to be able to work on your confidence. Yeah, there's a level of accountability there. As long as they've got the expertise, obviously it would be a lot better. But in the worst case, like you got accountability to listen to a hypnosis track or to get out there speaking to people and dreaming, and like you are the sum of the 5 closest people around you, all of those things. Accountability with someone else just levels up your game. Why? Here's an important why. Because we all crave to feel like we belong. We do not want to feel like we're alone, unfixable, unable to change. We want someone in our life to say, look, I'm in it with you. Worst case, even if you're in that journey together and you're both figuring it out, or there's a group of you figure out, it feels a ton better being with someone else on your journey to get to the top of that mountain. Now, in the same way, if that person was an expert, the chances are you are going to get more and more success. And since you're going to get more and more success by being with someone who has that expertise, who has that talent, like that mountaineer who comes down the mountain, gives you all the things that you need, gives you the food, the supplies, how to be able to tread forward, do this, do that. I'm no mountaineer, so I have zero idea what I'm talking about there. But as an analogy, We want to be able to get to the place of having someone in our life because, yes, there is responsibility. We take responsibility for our happiness. We take responsibility for our success. We take responsibility for what we do in this life. We cannot put it on anyone else because that is disempowering. Because if someone does it for you, then you don't get the benefit of learning. If someone just cheats on a test for you, you do not get that education. If someone went to school for you for that 5 years growing up, that person gets it and not you. So yes, we have to assume responsibility for our happiness. We've got to take responsibility for our success. We've got to take responsibility for where we're heading. We've got to take responsibility to give up our stories, to let them go and go, look, I am decisive. I am done with all the things which do not serve me, and I decide and declare I'm more than that and I'm ready for more. But then suddenly someone else enters a life and says, look, I can show you the way. Very much like, say, for example, my personal trainer. He doesn't let me give in. If he says you need to do 12 reps, I have to do 12 reps. Even if, say, for example, they're getting heavier and heavier, and the last 2, he assists me to get my body in the right shape, then that is good news. He knows how long I need to break, if at all, by the way. He knows how much water I should be taking on in that session. He knows the truth of success because that is what he's an expert in. Whereas if I went to the gym, I'm just literally just wandering around and I don't have that level of accountability in that area of my life. So on the one hand, yes, if you're in my analogy, like running, I do not need accountability. That's all I need. I'm responsible. But in other areas of your life, like mine for working out in a gym type of thing, I need accountability. I'm happy to trade the energy that I've earned and pass that forward to an expert if the energetic transaction is back to me in return of the results that I want. So my message here today is to look for accountability. Who can be someone who keeps you accountable? Who can be the person who goes down that mountain, takes you by the hand, and shows you the way to your success? Who can that be? Maybe you know someone like that. Maybe there's someone local, maybe it's like online, whether it's me or someone else, I don't mind, because I work with only a particular kind of client. That's just me, it's my business. I'm happy to do all this stuff for free, but I have my business, I know who I choose to work with. But I also know there are people out there who need accountability. So ask yourself, if you had someone to take you by the hand and show you the way to your success in quick like lightning speed, with far less stress, would you say yes to that? I'm sure you would say yes. Even if it meant you had to save up to energetically pay the person, because look, you're honoring them by them supporting you. You don't work for free, so why should that person work for free? We've got to get into the right mindset of that energetic transaction of helping someone, or getting them to help us, sorry. But we do have to get into the mindset of being open and honest. There are not many open and honest conversations in the world based on our mental health. Now, thankfully, for example, I know football very well, as in soccer in America. Mental health has been a big thing recently, where people are saying about their depressions and their anxieties, and it's becoming less of a shameful thing to say, look, I need help. I'm putting my hand out there. And I think we need to be more like that as a society. So one of the first steps is, yes, realizing that you may need accountability, and by taking responsibility for it, but also reaching your hand out. Because that person's coming down the mountain and saying, look, I'll take you by the hand, but your hands are tied behind your back because you don't want to let go of them. Then of course that person's just got his hand waving around doing nothing. Doesn't make sense. So you have to be the person who has to put your hand out. You've got to meet them halfway if you're going to really take their hand. So remember, there is no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in investing in help, because it is going to be the biggest investment. It's not a cost if you gain so much. And like I said, I'm not saying that you've got to spend millions of dollars or $100,000 to work with someone to get to where you want to be. You can do, right? That's fine if you want to get that quick like lightning. You'd expect so, right? But there could be people in your life who are equally wanting that change where you can go, look, we're in it together. We're doing some accountability. It actually goes into another personal example of mine. I speak to my brother in his early morning in England, like 6 o'clock, and I speak to him at like 10 or 11 o'clock type of time. It varies. And we generate ideas and we keep each other accountable. Like, he's a business person, I'm a business person. He's really interested in health, so I'm all in it as well because I'm trying to get back more into shape how I used to be. So we have a level of accountability by checking in with one another. We share ideas, we share inspiration. If he has a business issue, although he's high up in a very big organization, he has questions sometimes about communication. How do you communicate to your staff? How do you communicate to the leaders of those departments and so on? And I'm pretty good at communication, so we bounce off ideas. There's a level of accountability in sharing and connecting with someone. So I really want you to be open and honest with yourself. Are you being responsible for your happiness, as in ultimate ownership? And on top of that, are you allowing yourself to be accountable? You've got to be accountable for your accountability, right? Because you've got to make the first step. But who is out there in your life, where it be far away on the internet, where it be someone down the road, a family member, a friend, an expert in your area? Like I said, I don't mind who you work with. I just want you to get happy. I want you to get success. I want you to be financially abundant. I want your business or your career to flourish so you have financial security for the rest of your life and your family. I don't really mind. I just want you to succeed. And one of the levels of success I've noticed is making sure you have people in your life to cause you and allow you to kind of speak to you the truth, right? So they can pull you aside sometimes, right? And that's why I also say to you, this may go up against your boundaries. This may cause you to question. This may cause you to feel a little bit negative to Joseph, because I want to ask you questions which will challenge your belief systems. We aren't really challenge our belief systems, we just hold on to them. If I'm looking for a mentor or a coach like I have right now or in the past, I want them to question me. I want them to push me. I want them to expand me. In fact, that reminds me of one of my clients that I have. They see me and other people that they've worked with as an expansion of them. It's like pulling something out of them. It's causing them to go out. It's very hard to do that alone. It really, really is. Sometimes you got to get out your own way and say, look, I want someone on my team. I want someone to support me. There's no shame in wanting help with your transformation. There is zero shame about it. We've been programmed to feel like it's bad to improve our life. It is totally the opposite. You should be celebrating that you've got someone, or you're ready to receive someone, that you've put your hand up and going, look, I am ready to get the help and support that I want. That is fantastic. You've got to put your foot forward. You've got to put your hand out, and that should be celebrated. Because when you align yourself with someone who gets you, who understands where you are, because they've been through where you are, they've climbed to the top of the mountain, then they come down and go, look, I've been there. I know how to get you to your dreams. I know how to keep you accountable. I know how to push you. I've got a system which will refine you. I've got an idea and a project which will allow you to change and transform your life in any endeavor. That is the person you want on your team. So it is well worth it. And like I said, I'm going to re-emphasize this. I'm not saying that you should pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for this, right? I'm not saying that. It could be the person down the road. I'm not even selling you my service in this context, because even if you were to apply for my system, I may go, we're not a good fit because I only work with certain kinds of issues and certain kind of people, right? It's just my business. That's who I am. I'm not apologetic by that because I know the results that I can get. So I'm not even trying to sell you on your dream working with me. I'm trying to sell you on a dream of trying to get accountability. So who is in your life, who can you find that will allow you to reach for the top of the mountain? And guess what? Do you know what the real good thing about this is? And here's what I've learned. When you get to the top of the mountain, you'll look down and you'll find other people down there just like you. And because you feel so good about changing and transforming and having gone on that journey, guess what you're going to do? If you're a kind-hearted person, you're going to go down that mountain and you're going to be the person who puts their hand out, and you're going to take them by the hand, and you'll be their biggest motivator and instigator and cheerer of their dreams. You see, when I personally work with people, we're working with not just the person. We're working with their whole family technically, because how they come across in their issue is affecting their children. Most people say to me when they have an issue, I do not want my children to be like how I am. I don't want to pass down those stories. So really, when you have made that change, you're going down the mountain metaphorically all the time to all the people that you meet, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your workers, your clients, your customers, all those things. You are being the master of your life while also simultaneously becoming the accountability partner to all those you speak and connect with. So surround yourself with someone who's going to lift you up when you feel down. Surround yourself with someone when you have that excuse and you say you can't go any further, because that accountability person will go, you've got one more inside of you at the very least. I know it because it's true. Because it's happened so many times in my life, where we go down the analogy with my brother, where we go down the analogy of my personal trainer, where it be down the analogy when I've spent like 25K on a program to improve myself. There is always accountability. It makes you wake up. It makes you go, I'm in this. It's not just on me now. I've got to do something for that person. I've got to show them that I really, really want it, because wherever you pay for that service to get you to where you want to be, or if it's your friend, you've got to show up. And that is what I mean by accountability. So once again, ask yourself, are you having an accountability partner or team on your side to achieve the goals that you want? Are you ready to assume that responsibility to get someone on your team? And this is nothing about me. This is anyone. I don't care. I don't mind, as long as you get the accountability in your life. Another example, I know I always sometimes feel like I am selling you something by talking about my program, but it's built with accountability. We have assignments, we feedback, we share, we celebrate together. That's a level of accountability. There are things that need to be done to perform, and that's direct feedback. You need feedback into your life. You need feedback from that person, from that coach, from that trainer, from fill in the blank. Wherever you need to get a new CV and you hire someone to be able to improve a CV, you are getting feedback to improve yourself. That's a level of accountability. So if you're with me today, decide and declare that you are not only ready to get to the top of the mountain, you're not only ready to assume responsibility for it, but you're absolutely ready to find the accountability. Because otherwise, the only accountability we have will be regret. And that's hard to get back. You'll be accountable for the actions you did not take. You'll be accountable for staying the same. You'll be accountable for living in scarcity or regret and all of those things. That's the level of accountability, because we get accountability everywhere. We either get it with someone, or we get it when we get it there by ourselves, even if it takes longer, or we get the accountability when we get to the end of our life and go, oh my goodness, I wish I chose differently. I wish I'd just put my hand out for that safety, for that security, for that help in every single way. So I do hope you enjoyed this this episode. I really feel it's very, very powerful and important. It's your wake-up call. And like I said, my program, the chances are for most of my listeners out there, I don't say that in a negative way, my program is only for a certain kind of person. And if you want to figure out if you want to be that person or you feel like you could be that person, go to josephclough.info/power. And that means we can see if we can personally work together, where I get you on my team. My team will help you. In other words, rather than one person coming down the mountain, you got a team of people helping you each step of the way. Even in the darkest and times of tiredness, we get you through. Although trust me, it's actually a very exciting, exhilarating process, rather a tiring one. But you get the analogy. If you want to be helped in that way, go to josephclough.info/power. And on top of that, if you feel like that's not quite ready for you, we also have the Hypnosis app, which is hypnosis.app, where you can listen to hundreds of hypnosis sessions, coaching audios, all over 600 free within the app. You can choose over from 100 hypnosis sessions just in the normal section, where you can transform in the day and in the night. You can also create your own custom hypnosis sessions and day and night version as well. And if you enjoy this, you get value from the app, please go ahead and leave a rating and review. And once again, it's almost a metaphorical handout. Your review will be that metaphorical handout to say, look, I'm ready to change. I'm ready. This person's going to help you. Take the hand by leaving the review. I think that's a pretty cool analogy, right? And on top of that, lastly, I never like to do three things, but obviously the hypnosis one's a free one. My main system is application-based, so there's no money to be exchanged until we say, look, we actually want to work with you. And then the final thing right now is we're doing a virtual weekend seminar coming up in the next month or so, which is josephclough.info/event, and it's unlimited confidence, where you and I, imagine that, right? I'm putting my hand out for a whole 2 days, a whole weekend, and as a group energy, we're gonna transform. I always love it, but I'm gonna so love doing this event. You never know, you may want to bring a friend along and have that accountability partner and go on an online virtual weekend seminar to get the unlimited confidence you desire and absolutely deserve. And right now, it's $97 for 2 whole days. Now imagine if it was the worst thing that ever happened to you by going on that was to feel 50% less anxiety and 50% more and more confidence for $97. Would you say yes? Well, that's going to happen. So worst case, I mean, I don't believe in worst cases in that way, but ultimately you're going to get 100 million times back by doing the online seminar at josephclough.info/event. I'd love to have you there. It is early bird pricing right now, so it will actually double. So go ahead and get your ticket at $97, which is like £60 or so, at josephclough.info/event. So with that, my friends, I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. And just remember, yeah, be responsible, but also look for some accountability. Who's in your life? Who can you get? Who can you hire? What can you implement? And that way, we'll be able to make the changes we desire. And like I always say, you deserve it. So many thanks and goodbye.